made health and fitness a key part of your life since when? Tell me the story about when you first started really making health a real important part of your life.
Well, probably 1971. The guy I worked with, he and I shared an apartment, and he was a former track star for Arizona State University, and he got way out of shape, and he said, well, let's go run some to get back in shape. So that was, 1970, 71, where nobody had running shoes. That was way before the big running era started. So he and I started running a mile, and then I continued to do it, and then we moved to San Diego and continued to run some, not that much, but then I saw, okay, they're doing races, so I think maybe I'll try it. So I did a 10K back in 1974 wearing a pair of racquetball shoes, because there was no such thing as running shoes at the time, and I remember finishing with blisters on my blisters, but I did finish, and that was kind of what got me started. And then I bought the first pair of running shoes were Nike Waffle Trainers, and I had those, and I just started running from there. We joined the San Diego Track Club back in the 70s and just became part of the running community in San Diego for years, and ran probably 2 races a month at least. Back in those days, you could run a race for like $5 and you had a t-shirt and beer. So it was a motivation.
What's it been like to, be in such a wonderful kind of activity-based life with Dave? Tell me about that.
Oh, it hasn't been boring, that's for sure. And every activity we've done, every place that we've done, every peak that maybe we've hiked has helped me to grow and I think be a better person. And it was just, I grew up being outdoors in Oregon with my family, and this just continued on. And I just think it's remarkable that Dave and I have so many same interests, and we share these interests. I didn't stay home when he was out running with the group. I was there too, and going. I do not motorcycle with him, but when we're out hiking or we're out on nature trails, and I try to learn about nature so that when we're out, it makes it more interesting, and it gives me more of a purpose to be out there.
We do something active every day of the week.
You mean you and your wife?
Yes. Mondays, we go to a boxing class in the evening. Tuesdays, I get up and ride with the Irvine Bicycle Club about 35 miles. Many times on Tuesday evenings, I go to the Endurance House store and we run 3 miles around in the park. Wednesdays, that's kind of my off day. I ride motorcycles with a group of guys, and then I'll come home and play 9 holes of golf at the par 3 course with a neighbor. And Thursdays, we go to kickboxing class on Thursday evening. Friday morning, we ride bicycles with the Laguna Woods bicycle group. Saturday, we do a kickboxing boot camp at the studio. Sunday, we usually go to the 24-hour fitness center and do a spin class at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's 7 days a week.
7 days a week, pretty much. We do something active.
What would you say is the secret to your success?
Trying to just have a real positive attitude and just try to be happy. And some days it's a struggle, I have to say that. But my mother set a tremendous precedence for me, example for me, and I try to do the same to others, to our children and our little grandson and our neighbors, and just try to just keep plugging along, keep smiling, and we've been fortunate to have good health because of our active lifestyle and our healthy eating style. So I think that absolutely helps you to have a healthy mental outlook too.
Do you have any advice for people who might have exercised or want to get more fit? How do they get over this?
Well, one of the things is a lot of people go out and they go into it too hard, too quick. and then if they're like in our classes, we bring in new people, and if they can't keep up at our level, they get frustrated and don't stay around. Well, we always tell them you got to pace yourself and work up to it. There's a skill part of it. There's also the endurance part of it. So you can't expect to be able to jump in there and within a week be able to be doing the same thing that people have been doing for years. So it's just kind of know your pace, know your physical conditioning when you start, and just go in there and work your way up to the point where you feel comfortable. Don't get mentally and physically frustrated because you can't compete with somebody else that's been doing the same type of activity forever. So it's just kind of, and then when you do get hurt, you take care of it. You don't just ignore it. If I come home every evening after boxing, I have a little shoulder problem. I ice it. I ice my shoulder, I ice my knees. Even though I don't have a lot of pain, I do it just as a preventive measure to keep from, having more and more problems as you grow older. You got to continue to kind of monitor what aches and pains there are and make sure that they do subside rather than just compounding and getting worse and worse to the point where you finally decide that it just isn't fun anymore because there's just more pain than improvement in your physical conditioning.
So slow and steady is the key.
Yeah, really, slow and steady, and just work your way up to the level that you want to be. Okay, here we are at OC Martial Arts, getting ready to go into a class with my wife Terry.
Does that keep you from hurting your wrist?
Well, yeah, it helps keep my wrist from doing anything, and it just absorbs a lot of the sweat, keeps your gloves from getting real wet inside, and it just kind of protects your knuckles when you hit the bag.
So how long have you been coming here?
5.5 years.
How many times a week?
3 times a week.
And how long do the classes last?
They're about an hour.
That's quite a workout.
It is. It's a great workout.
How's your life changed since you started doing this?
Well, I've always been active, but this is a whole different way of staying in shape, because you have to think also when you're doing this, because he gives you combinations and you got to remember what it is. So it's mental and physical. So it works for both. And I quit going and working out with weights when I started this class.
What's the hardest part?
Hardest part? Well, it depends on what class I'm in, but sometimes just the constant movement. You never stop in this class. You're constantly moving from the time you walk onto the floor until you walk out. So, warming up, and then it's an aerobic exercise. So you get your heart rate up real quick, and it stays up throughout the whole time. So it keeps you really in trim shape.
Joey, it's 7:15.
You know what your body fat percentage is?
Maybe 12, 10, something. I don't know. I've not really checked it for a long time.
How old are you now, Dave?
71.
How old do you feel?
40?
40. Really? Have you had any decline in your physical abilities?
Running, I'm a lot slower than I was when I was in my 40s. But it's all relative, But other than that,
How about aches and pains?
Oh, well, I had the bad knee, which I had a total knee replacement, so, and a left shoulder that's a little arthritic,
But when you wake up in the morning, how do you feel?
Fine.
Like $1 million?
Well, not a million, but close to. I feel pretty good every morning. Yeah, I get up and I'm feeling good. I'm not creaky and groaning.
Do you like have a cup of coffee in the morning to get
Sure.
going?
Yeah, have a cup of coffee, read the paper, and I'm usually on the bicycle or doing something active every day.
And at the end of this class, are you going to be whooped?
Yeah, I bring an extra shirt because my shirt is soaked by the time we get out of this class.
Do you sleep really good after doing this at night?
Yeah, pretty good.
And what's your expectation tonight? Do you have any goals that you try to achieve or just get through the dang thing?
I try to work as hard as I can and try to keep the technique up and, try to work on what he's teaching you as far as how to kick, how to punch. It's a lot of technique, to keep from injuring yourself.
Is your son an excellent teacher?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, hello.
So, how fun is it to have your mom and dad come and take a class?
Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's it can be a little difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
But you got to give them both a lot of credit, though, right?
Oh yeah, for showing up and working out hard.
And what about your dad that like inspires you? What does he do that inspires you?
The fact that he keeps working hard and at his age, and he doesn't. A lot of people just kind of go, "Oh, I'm going to sit on the couch today and watch some TV or not do much." But he's up moving. That's why he stayed as young as he has.
Because he looks really good.
Yeah. So I'm hoping. I don't want him to hear me say that, but I'm hoping that when I get to his age, I can still look as good and as good a shape as he's in. But don't tell him I said that.
And then as far as you coaching him up, how is his technique?
It took a little while, but it's come along. His technique's down pretty. He's had to transition from being left-handed to actually boxing right-handed, just because he had an easier time of following along with the classes. But it's he's come along. He's got some technique. He's done sparring a couple of times. And he's got some good solid punches. He likes to punch me in the head. But
Do you guys spar?
I put headgear on, and he'll punch me and he'll work on defense and
No kidding.
Yeah, I think he likes that part.
Will we get a chance to see any of that tonight?
We might tonight. Small enough class tonight, so maybe I would do that as one of my rounds.
That
where
would be neat.
I get to be the punching bag for them.
For me, it's energetic. The more I do it, the more energy I feel that I'm building. So, and I'm always, somewhat competitive in my thing. So a lot of times I'll be watching the younger people around me and saying, I could do that. I can keep up with those people. So I just, some of that mentality comes in, and it's just the idea that it's kind of a goal to see that you can get from station to station to station and still keep the same energetic level that you started with at the beginning of the class. When I got to my son's sparring with him, that's the most intense station of all, because hitting a bag that doesn't hit back isn't quite as intense as when you know that you can get hit, so you're constantly thinking about how you're going to avoid getting hit by the other person. And so,
Come on, Dave.
a little more adrenaline pump, so you're moving a lot quicker. You're moving your feet around all the time. You're always back and forth. But those 14-ounce gloves get heavy after about 2 minutes of swinging and trying to hit a moving object. It's a little more difficult than hitting a stationary big heavy bag.
My hands are up. Where am I open? Where am I open now? Yeah. I just like hitting a brick wall and giving up. The elbows in to block the body.
Come on, Dave, get in there.
Look at that, 30 seconds. Hold your hand on my head.
Wow. is awesome.
That is hard
All right, go take your gloves off.
and it's tiring. But I didn't get to hit him in the head. But he's got such a thick skull. Doesn't hurt him.
Yeah. Have you done this before where you get to punch him?
Yes, but I don't like doing it.
You don't like it, right?
No, I don't like punching him.
Doesn't feel good.
Sometimes he'll just tell me what to do, and then I'll just do it. But it's not
Weird.
I'm not
You
good.
got hands up, hands up. Oh yeah, look at this. Come on. Hey, no back of the head shot. There you go. There. You're gonna hit. That's a little big hook.
Yeah. She's ferocious.
Oh, hey.
That's awesome. Come on, Terry. Get one in there.
Not yet.
Come on, Terry.
You got it. Champions are down. Knock it out. Good shot. Good shot. Big head shot. Big head shot. Oh.
Ha! 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 Nice.
Exhausting.
That looked hard.
It's very tiring.
Wham! You didn't stop.
I saw you try to sneak in that kick, Terry.
I know. I was front one.
What's next?
Abs.
Crunches.
Crunches?
Leg lifts, bridge, all the stuff that really works your core. And the core is really important in boxing.
Yeah.
Because everything comes from here. And it helps my bicycling to have
Oh,
strong
yeah.
core muscles. So that's good for any sport. There's a lot of people that cross-train with boxing that are baseball players, football players, models.
Don't hit my head.
I'll play Dave's instead.
Yeah, that might help.
Just put one hand behind your knee that's up. Keep going. Two, one, down. We got it. Good job.
Yeah. A little sweat.
You're all done now.
All done now. Now go home, have a beer, kick back, rest up, get on the bicycle in the morning.
You worked really hard.
I try. Yeah, I try.
How old are you?
I'm 71.
Yes, that's ridiculous. How's your shape now compared to? Because you've always been
It's
working
always
out.
changing.
Yeah.
It goes up and down, but even when I was I'm better fit now than even when I was a runner. And we ran 40 miles a week, but my body fat's down. But our eating style has changed in the last 3.5 years. We've gone to plant-based eating, just about 95%. And, just a vegan or least vegetarian.
So it's early on Sunday.
Yes, it is.
You take it kind of slow the first couple laps.
Yeah, you do, because the track's cold, tires are cold. It's the biggest chance of falling is right now.
How old are your leathers?
Oh, probably 20.
20 years old?
Yeah.
Got your money worth out of those, huh?
Right, yeah.
Who's the better racer of the three?
Kurt, he raced at Willow Springs for a few years, riding the 550 Superbike class, and he was good enough that he won the overall championship in 2006.
You got any goals for today?
Just get out there and have a good time. It's always working on if you can get through the corners a little faster than you did the last time you were out here, and try to get a little smoother, that kind of stuff. That's the main thing. Other than that, it's mostly just, it's just the fun of trying to go fast.
How many laps do you think you're going to do today?
Usually, if you're on a 15-minute session, you can probably get in at least 15 laps per session. So I'll probably get to ride 30 laps, maybe.
So is there anybody older than Dave that comes out here?
Right when you guys brought this topic up, I was trying to think of it. I don't think so. I think you might have the
February.
72. No, definitely. He's the oldest. But you wouldn't know it. One of my favorite quotes about Dave is our assistant came to me and said, "Dave's fast. He's not fast for an old guy. He's fast." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
fast.
Well, compared to these guys, yeah. We get out with these other guys with their own bikes, I'm not as fast as they are. Hey, most of the time.
It's all relative, right?
Yeah.
You got your kids started young.
Yep.
Did you guys love it when you first got on the bike, or were you like, ah?
Well, the first 2 times I rode a motorcycle, I crashed. But no, first 3 times. And then I was like, I just wanted to get over the fear of it. So like, I want a motorcycle, I want to ride it, and then just kept going from there. When you first showed us on any Sunday when we were kids, from then on, I was like, oh, I want to ride motorcycles.
He was telling me when you won a trophy, you got really fired up winning a trophy.
Well, that was in his martial arts days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
no
got conflated.
motorcycle trophies.
Yeah, no motorcycle
He
trophies.
used to have a motorcycle trophy in his closet when we were kids, and I remember always pulling it out and looking at it like, wow. But he's had a bunch of
Yeah, he's got all kinds of trophies.
Yeah, I used to race road bikes for a lot of years. It was my hobby, and it was an expensive hobby, but it was fun. Got to spend a whole lot of money doing that. to win some $3 trophies. You know.
Yeah, but you can never take that back.
No.
You got to say you were the Superbike champion.
Yes,
that
yes.
year.
Yeah, 550.
Yeah, I was a class champion one year. Yeah, so.
Because you look way too conservative for me. Like I would never guess that you were like
No earrings.
super into this whole thing.
Yeah, well, I know I kind of stand out. Or I don't really fit in with a lot of the people in the industry because I don't have a whole bunch of tattoos.
Right? You're too
You know,
clean
I'm
cut.
kind of- I'm kind of the buttoned up guy. But a lot of the guys who do the road racing are more the buttoned up kind of type A personalities. 'Cause
Okay.
It's very, one's expensive, so you have to have like a good job. You can't just be like a tattoo guy working part time. But it's very precision orientated.
Right.
Yeah, so it just takes a lot of concentration and a lot of dedication to get better at it.
Like a race car driver, right? Like an
Exactly.
Indy guy.
Yeah.
They're serious
Yeah.
because you have to have that focus. Forget
Right.
it, right?
Yeah, you have to have a lot of focus. You have to be really committed to it to improve. Otherwise, you're just going in circles around the track and not getting any better.
And what do you think about your dad, just overall, as far as all his motorcycles, growing up with him?
You know, as a kid, I didn't think anything of him doing stand-up wheelies across our backyard.
You did stand-up wheelies across the backyard?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to do
Really?
something to entertain the kids.
Yeah, because that's just normal, dads. Then now as an adult, as I got older, I realized, one, that's hard,
Uh-huh.
and two, most people's dads don't do that. You know, I've never done a stand-up wheelie across anything.
So he was just your dad riding motorcycles,
Yeah.
and you just took it for granted.
Yeah, that's just dad doing what dad does, and that's just kind of that's the normal thing. Just do a wheelie and jump over something, and then come in and do it again tomorrow.
Was he like, "Hey boys, watch this," or was he just out there doing it and you're just watching?
He's in his own little world, you know.
Really?
Yeah, he's just gone off doing it. You know, it didn't matter if we were watching him or not. He was just playing, entertaining himself.
Wow. How soon did you like have the full-on desire to get into this seriously?
Probably wasn't until I was an adult, and I got into it like a lot more serious. You know, as a kid, we had the dirt bikes, we rode around the backyard and stuff. We'd go to the track sometimes on weekends. It was just kind of fun. As I got older, that's when I got more serious going into it. It's something because I wasn't playing football anymore or sports, like collegiate sports. So like, all right, well, this is a sport I could do and kind of compete at. So that's what got me focused into it. You know, it's just as an outlet. You know, because once you have your normal 9-to-5 job, you get kind of stressed. You need to find a stress relief.
Motorcycles, what the heck?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. That was the last time you did a stand-up wheelie on your bike.
Not on purpose. A long time ago. Yeah, I don't. Road bikes, you really don't do this. This was back when we had 5 acres of property back in Kansas, and I had a trials bike that was made to do that kind of stuff because you drove over big rocks and over trees and stuff. So I could stand up and pull that up and do a wheelie in the yard pretty easy.
You got any pictures of that?
No.
No pictures?
No, we don't.
I think there might be. I think we have an old VCR thing of me doing it. What?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then we have VCR. We used to, after a big rainstorm, we had a big, like a half acre of just, it used to be a garden, and then it would get muddy, so then we'd take the kids' mini bikes out there and flat track around it and slide in the mud and throw mud on each other and have fun.
Huh. That must have been fun.
Oh yeah.
What kind of dad is like getting you out in the mud on doing that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and then the kind that gets his motorcycles, and then the second day he gets his helmets.
Is that really true?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, had to, I didn't have the funds to get, so I had to go clear to Kmart to get their helmets.
Yeah.
And then
It was more of a survival of the fittest. See which one's gonna make it. Oh, and they both did.
yeah, I had my helmet. That's all I was concerned about. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.